This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Phil Laskowski coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Thursday, February 26th. Chancellor Merz consults Taiwan-based novelist before China trip, signals shifts in Germany's China's policy. St. Vincent and the Grenadines ambassador ends 6-year tenure. And replacing arms purchases with negotiations risks Beiping model, according to scholars. But first, today's top story. German novelist and philosopher Stefan Thom, who resides in Taiwan, recently met with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz ahead of the Chancellor's first visit to China. In an interview with Der Spiegel, published on Tuesday, Thom described the dinner meeting and emphasized the need for Germany to firmly reject China's narrative, particularly on the issue of Taiwan. According to Thom, the invitation came unexpectedly and was arranged through his publisher on short notice. He said the dinner was a focused policy discussion rather than a casual gathering, with Merz personally leading the conversation, taking notes, and posing numerous questions. Other attendees included the former EU Chamber of Commerce President Jörg Wuttke, Mercedes-Benz Supervisory Board Chairman Martin Brudermüller, and several academics. Thom noted that Merz refrained from stating his own positions during the meeting, but recalled the Chancellor's earlier remarks describing China's so-called goal of reunification with Taiwan as one of the world's most dangerous threats to peace. Thom said the phrasing reflected Merz's nuanced stance on the Taiwan Strait issue. He added that awareness of Taiwan has grown in Germany amid the semiconductor boom and rising geopolitical tensions. Thom believes the new government's approach signals a shift from the past administrations that prioritized trade with China, suggesting Berlin now takes a clearer view of the structural challenges Beijing poses. St. Vincent and the Grenadines ambassador Andrea Claire Bowman is finishing her tenure in Taiwan after 6 years. This Wednesday, President Lai Ching-te conferred the Order of Brilliant Star with Grand Cordon on her, and Foreign Minister Lin Jialong praised her contributions to bilateral relations. Lin stated that Bowman actively promoted economic and trade relations, high-level mutual visits, and cultural exchanges between the nations during her tenure. He said she became an important bridge between the allies, exerting a strong cohesive force for Taiwan's international participation. Taiwan and St. Vincent and the Grenadines established diplomatic relations in 1981, with Taiwan opening an embassy in 1983 and St. Vincent and the Grenadines opening one in 2019. Bowman was the first ambassador to Taiwan, also assuming Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in 2022. Foreign Minister Lin pointed out that this year is the 45th since establishing diplomatic ties, and that cooperation has yielded fruitful results in areas ranging from agricultural technology and public health to climate change and adaptation. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Xiao Guangwei added,
Taiwan and St. Vincent and the Grenadines have extensive cooperation in areas including agriculture, food security, healthcare, infrastructure, ICT, and women's empowerment.
The Foreign Ministry emphasized that Taiwan will continue to promote ties with St. Vincent and the Grenadines through comprehensive diplomacy, strengthening the mutually beneficial partnership, and promoting people's well-being and sustainable development. The Institute for National Policy Research held a symposium on Thursday on Taiwan Strait security and the special defense budget. Attending scholars warned that opposition parties push to replace military confrontation with negotiations. Relying on slogans without defensive strength would only heighten China's interest in forcibly unifying Taiwan, leading to a Beiping model trap. The KMT's strong push for a Changxi meeting introduces uncertainties, even if the budget advances to committee review. Foundation on Asia-Pacific Peace Studies President Dong Li-wen said blocking the defense budget does the KMT more harm than good. While the KMT advocates negotiations for peace, it ignores China's repeated insistence that only unification brings peace and its refusal to abandon force. The KMT views excessive Taiwanese military buildup as provoking China, not a bargaining chip, yet it offers no clear negotiation path, method, or price to make China abandon unification, Dong said.
The KMT thinks it can negotiate with China just relying on those slogans and banners. This will plunge into the Beiping mode, a forced unification trap. The more hesitant the resolve to resist, the more wavering the defense capability, the more it makes the CCP look down on it. The more it encourages the CCP's interest in using force to unify Taiwan.
Taipei Medical University General Education Center Vice Dean Zhang Guocheng noted that China's defense budget continues to grow robustly, with military technology and equipment now mature beyond the learning stage. The proposed special budget is merely patching up gaps in the defense network. Amid potential April Trump-Xi meeting impacts on Taiwan's trade dynamics and arms sales, the KMT's bid to block purchases for KMT Chair Zheng Liwen's Cheng-Xi meeting clouds budget review. Zhang said that even if the special budget went to the committee now, the deliberation process would face cuts and delays. He noted that variables may still arise through cross-party negotiation mechanisms and that passage was passage, but with cuts, reservation, and extended timelines, this would greatly affect actual operations. Zhang added that on Tuesday, Legislative Speaker Han Kuo-yu used the analogy of Qing Dynasty eunuchs covering their faces with wet paper to warn KMT legislators that further blocking the budget equals chronic suicide for the KMT or Taiwan. Taipei Mayor Chiang Wan-an and American Institute in Taiwan director Raymond Greene jointly lit the main lantern and AIT's themed installation at the Taipei Lantern Festival on Wednesday, marking the start of this year's celebration at the Taipei Expo Park. Mayor Chiang said the lanterns not only illuminate the night sky, but also symbolize the enduring friendship between Taiwan and the United States. As a part of the United States Freedom 250 campaign commemorating the 250th anniversary of American independence, AIT participated in the Lantern Taipei Festival for the first time. Its exhibit, titled Lights of Liberty, Promise of Prosperity, features iconic American landmarks such as the Capitol, Golden Gate Bridge, and Statue of Liberty. Greene said in his remarks that the U.S. has upheld democratic ideals for 250 years and, through shared values, has built a strong partnership with Taiwan. He thanked Chiang and the city government for their support and praised the artistry of the lantern designs, calling them the best gift for America. Chiang noted that Taipei and the U.S. enjoy close cooperation in technology, trade, culture, and education. He invited the public to experience the festival, which runs through March 15th and features two main zones, the Expo Park with Transformers-themed lanterns and the Ximen District in collaboration with global brand Pop Mart. With this Saturday marking the 79th anniversary of the February 28th incident, Premier Zhuo Rongtai at Thursday's cabinet meeting stated that education is a vital pillar of transitional justice efforts, crucial for young people, civil servants, and all citizens' understanding of democratic values. Only through local historical education and memory work reflecting on injustices under authoritarian rule can Taiwan avoid repeating past mistakes, he said. The meeting featured a report from the Cabinet's Department of Human Rights and Transitional Justice called Rooted in Education, Critical Thinking, and Democracy, highlighting national transitional justice education achievements. This comes amid criticism of the movie The Century Bloodbath, based on the 1980 Lin family massacre, for adapting the story without consulting or notifying victim Lin Yixiong, whose mother and twin daughters were killed in the attack. Cabinet spokesperson Michelle Lee relayed Zhuo's remarks that political victims are the core subjects and that making their voices heard, respecting their will, and acknowledging their harm would heal injustices and restore reputation and dignity. Zhuo outlined 5 priority works for this year: universities leading textbook development for schools, agencies reviewing historical content, stable funding for schools and offices, expanded civic participation via the Promoting Transitional Justice Fund, and improved laws. He instructed the Education Ministry to coordinate teacher incentives, the Directorate General of Personnel Administration and training bodies to deepen civil servant training for human rights awareness, and security, intelligence, and diplomatic agencies to systematically explore their authoritarian era histories per international practices. Zhuo stressed that Taiwan needs more people to understand history through films, literature, arts, and tours, emphasizing with victims, reflecting on human rights from memory, and safeguarding democracy. The Iowa State Senate and House of Representatives jointly passed a pro-Taiwan resolution this Wednesday, explicitly opposing the distortion of UNGA Resolution 2758 and advocating for a national agreement to avoid double taxation. The resolution expresses support for Taiwan's participation in global organizations and condemns any efforts undermining Taiwan's sovereign status. It calls for a deeper partnership between Taiwan and Iowa in trade and people-to-people exchanges and reaffirms the state's support for continued peace, stability, and prosperity in the Taiwan Strait. The resolution affirms Foreign Minister Lin Jialong's values of comprehensive value and alliance diplomacy, the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Chicago noted in the press release this Wednesday. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Phil Laskowski. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.